So I just got my learner's permit for driving here in BC. So here are some facts from ICBC about it and my personal experience in preparing and taking the exam. My name is JC, medical doctor in the Philippines and now an international student here in British Columbia, Canada. Subscribe to my channel if you want to know more about immigration, international student life, and anything about living here in BC. So today, all my resources are acquired from the website and the driver's manual given by ICBC, which is short for Insurance Corporation of British Columbia. It's a provincial corporation providing auto insurance, vehicle registration, driver licensing, road safety, and other services and products here in BC. If you're new to BC and if you have a valid driver's license from your country of residence, then you can use it for the first 90 days you live here. After which, you need to turn over your old license and pass the applicable exams in ICBC. The 90-day rule though does not apply and you may continue to drive on your current license if you have the following status. You're a tourist wherein you can drive up to 6 months. You have a valid student exemption due to full-time enrollment at a designated learning institute here in BC. You're a resident outside of the province of BC. And lastly, you are a temporary foreign worker with a federal work permit under the Seasonal Agricultural Worker Program, which you can drive up to 12 months. The documents needed to present to ICBC are current driver's license, original driver's abstract or driver's license history document, and lastly, a letter of experience from the licensing authority that issued your license. Now it should be noted that the document should ideally be translated in English from an ICBC approved translator and should include signature of the licensing authority who issued the license, licensing authority's name, address, and phone number, your name, birth date, driver's license, or other unique identifier, and class of license if applicable. And lastly, indication of either date of your license issuance or amount of time you have held your license. To get your full privilege driver's license here in BC, then you must have held your driver's license for at least 2 years. There are countries with a special consideration who can do a license exchange at the ICBC and get a full privilege BC license on the same day. The countries are as follows: USA, Australia, Austria, Netherlands, France, Germany, Japan, New Zealand, South Korea, Switzerland, and UK. We have here the stages of the graduated licensing program of ICBC. L permit holders are the beginners and have certain restrictions. You need to be a learner for at least 12 months before you can take a road test and graduate to the next level, which is the N license. The L permit is valid for 2 years and can be renewed by retaking and passing the knowledge test. For L permit holders such as myself, the restrictions for driving are as follows. A supervisor must be present who is at least age 25 or older with a valid Class 5 license, and that person must sit beside you in the front passenger seat. You must display the L sign on the back of your vehicle. There should be no alcohol or drugs. You are limited to 1 passenger in addition to the supervisor. There is no usage of electronic devices while driving, and you're restricted to drive between 12 midnight to 5 a.m. So how do we prepare and schedule for your knowledge test in ICBC? For booking an appointment, I have linked in the description below the website where you can schedule your appointment. It will just prompt you on your desired place, date, and time of exam that you want to reserve and book. The date will vary to its availability from 1 to 2 weeks to as much as 2 months, just like me. Fees will be collected on the day of exam, so you don't need to pay anything during your booking. You will be reminded of the IDs that you need to bring on the day of exam. And if you have the previously mentioned documents and driver's license from your home country, then please bring them as well. For IDs, they are listed on the website and are linked below in the description. You will be needing 1 primary ID and 1 secondary ID. Please do take note though, as an international student, you need to bring your study permit as well on the day of exam. Now, how do we study for the exam? There are 4 ways listed by ICBC. These are through the manual, the ICBC app, the road signs practice test, and the Street Sense app. For the manual, entitled Learn to Drive Smart, it is available in the website and can be downloaded so you can access it anytime. It has 9 chapters, which covers things like driving principles, discussion on the vehicle, signs and signals, scenarios on the road and other road users, strategies in safely driving, as well as emergency tactics, and of course, last but not the least, the BC Law on Driving. For the ICBC app, it's available through your desktop, laptop, or mobile via App Store. It has a question bank that holds 200 questions, which is almost similar to the questions being asked in a knowledge exam. Each practice set is 25 questions, randomly acquired from the bank, and is a good medium for preparation for the exam. I mostly did this one daily for a month prior to my exam, and it was quite helpful. For the road signs practice test, it's a browser-based mock exam which focuses on identifying road signs. About 1/3 of your exam consists mostly of identifying and assessing your next action with regards to these road signs. It's a good practice platform that you can use via your browser so you can familiarize yourself with the different road signs here in BC. Street Sense is a hazard perception training application that helps you identify common hazards on the road. It gives you driving scenarios of what you would expect here in BC. For gamers, it's similar to when you're playing Grand Theft Auto, but on tutorial mode, since it teaches you on hazard perception. So on the day of the exam, these are the things that I brought. I had 2 IDs, my credit card, my study permit. If you're below 19 years old, you must bring either a signed consent form from your legal guardian or parent, which is available in the website, or you can bring your parents or legal guardian on the day of exam. So I received my reminders in my email from ICBC 3 days and a day before my exam date. They will instruct you to go to the ICBC office that you picked 15 minutes before the assigned time. I waited at the entrance of the office for an employee to call on examinees. You can also inform the security guard assigned at the entrance that you have an appointment that day. A receptionist then delegated me to the person in charge of the examination. I handed my ID and study permit, and they processed my papers. I then paid 15 Canadian dollars for the exam, after which she instructed me with regards to the exam. No talking was allowed, no review materials should be present or used during the exam, and of course, there should be no using of your mobile phones during the exam as well. Other languages are also available, and they will ask if you prefer taking them on your selected language. It's available in the following: English, Arabic, Cantonese, Croatian, French, Farsi, Mandarin, Punjabi, Russian, Spanish, Vietnamese, and Ukrainian. The test is composed of 50 items in total. You need to score at least 80% or 40 correct answers to pass the exam. Otherwise, if you get 11 incorrect answers, you will fail the exam. Scoring 40 correct or 11 incorrect answers will automatically close the computer. If you do fail the exam, you can retake it after 7 days with an additional fee each time you retake it. So for the exam venue, there are several cubicles situated in the office, either standing or sitting. Each cubicle has a monitor with a touchscreens feature. Audio is also available via headphones, so at least you won't stress yourself on reading the instructions, exam questions, and answers. It will prompt on how the exam will be done. You won't need to remember how many correct or wrong answers you got, since it will be present continuously on the monitor. It will tell you whether your answer was correct or wrong, including the explanation for the correct answer if you got it wrong. And as your instructor said, it will automatically close once you either get 80% or 40 correct answers, or if you get 11 mistakes, which is a failed exam. Now don't forget that there is an option to skip questions, and these skipped questions will be shuffled towards the end of the exam. Now this will give you a chance to answer other questions that may be much easier or more understandable to you. So it's better to skip rather than waste your time trying to understand a question. So for the content of the exam, it's variable but most are covered by the manual. They are signs and signals, definition of terms, numbers, hazard perception, strategies in safe driving, and of course, rules in the intersection. So my computer closed after I got 80% in the test, and I went back to the previous person in charge of the examination. They redirected me to another personnel for the next step, after confirming whether I passed or failed the exam. Since I passed the exam, the personnel redirected me to the vision test, which I also passed. If you did fail, you might be advised to get a note from your eye doctor. After that, the final processing of the L permit was done. I paid an additional 10 Canadian dollars for the ID photography. The personnel then oriented me on the rules for an L permit holder. She gave me a temporary L permit in paper form, plus an L sticker. So aside from the L sticker, you'll get also a paper permit since it will take around 60 days to get the ID via snail mail. Private driving instructors are also available, but usually they advertise via word of mouth or via social media, and prices may vary. You need to accomplish a minimum of 60 hours of driving experience before taking the road test, which will be logged in a form available on the ICBC website. And that's about it. Good luck for those who will be taking their knowledge exams. See you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to watch more, click here to see my latest video. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. A biento!